Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. परमोच्च प्रभु सत्यम नित्यत्वमेव केवलं अनुवर्तामहे सत्यम अनुजीवम केवलम ओम शांति शांति शांति. Good morning, namaste, Vande Mataram, welcome all of you. The topic to be discussed in this morning is faith is the soul's witness. So, very interesting topic we are going to discuss briefly on faith. Of course, by the way, in the terms of the discussion, we will discuss something on different types of faith we have heard or we have witnessed so far. So, of course, this is a brief discussion. Quarter on our discussion, of course, we are going to have right now. So, to some extent, we will proceed on the different types of faith, but the beginning, the caption will start from faith is the soul's witness to something not yet manifested. So, from that, we have taken the semi phrase faith is the soul's witness to what? To something not yet manifested. Then again, Sri Aurobindo quotes, things will be discussed from the Sri Aurobindo's philosophy, Sri Aurobindo's writings. Not yet manifested, achieved or realized, by which nothing yet to be manifested, achieved or realized, that is the soul's witness, that is faith. By who, but which is yet the knower within us. Nothing has been achieved, realized or manifested, but the thing is that the knower is within us, that is the soul. He is the knower, it is the knower. Even in the absence of all indication, feels to be true or supremely worth following or achieving, because that is witnessed by the soul. Soul's witness is faith. So after we'll little bit we'll go after afterwards we'll see we'll a little bit we'll proceed three couple of lines we'll omit in between, and we'll see what's your in the course over here. The fundamental faith, here in the quotes, the fundamental faith in yoga is this: inherent in the soul, that the divine exists and the divine is the one being to be followed after. This is the fundamental faith. It must be a fundamental one. So, inherent in the soul, that the divine exists, number one, divine exists, and the divine is one thing to be followed after. And again, nothing else in life is worth having in comparison with that. Divine is uncomparable, divine is there within us, divine to be followed, divine is the goal. This is simply uncomparable. So long as a man has that faith, this fundamental faith, divine is all, divine exists, existence of the divine, he is marked for the spiritual life. Already we have quoted the only objective in spiritual life, that is divine. And I'll say that even if his nature is full of the obstacles and crammed with denials and difficulties, here in the quotes assures, even if his nature is full of obstacles and crammed with denials and difficulties, and even if he is many years of struggle, he has many years of struggle, that obscurity is there, denials are there, difficulties are there, he is marked out for success in the spiritual life if he has chosen the fundamental faith is that divine exists and divine is all. So it is faith that you need to develop. That is the fundamental way you need to develop a faith which in accordance with the reason and the common sense, that if the divine exists and he has called you to the path as the evident, then there must be the divine guidance behind, through and in spite of all difficulties you arrive. So there must be difficulties, there must be obstacles, so there must be actually so many classes, types, everything, so many odds will be there on the way. But that if that fundamental faith is there, if you are able, the sadhak is able to develop that concept, that divine guidance is there, and it must be there in spite of all barrings and obstacles. Not to listen to the hostile voices, not to listen to the hostile voices that suggest failure. Many voices we see, and one more voice is hostile voice that comes suggest that the failure and the voices of the impatient, that is vital haste, that echo them. Not to believe that because the great difficulties are there can be no success, and that because divine has not shown himself, he will never show himself. But to take the position everyone must take, which he fixes in his mind the great difficult goal, because this fundamental belief must be there, fundamental trust, fundamental faith must be there, and with that faith he must recite the word, I will go on till I succeed, I will never stop, there is no chance of escape, I will go on till I succeed, all difficulties notwithstanding, to which the belief in the divine arts, the divine exists. My following after the divine can't fail. So when somebody actually calls, somebody actually echoes, I will that somebody takes the oath, I will go till I succeed. All difficulties is notwithstanding. Then there will be from the to the believer divine arts the very strong sentence, very strong assurance, the divine exists. My following after the divine can't fail. I will go on through everything till I find him. That is the addition, divine addition. If that willingness, that strong strength is there, that strong this is thing, strong remark is there, strong faith is there, definitely there is help. And we will go another faith we sometimes find, that is the phrase the blind faith, very natural phrase we faith, blind faith has no real meaning. I then during the course, I suppose they mean they will not believe without proof. Blind faith, what shall I believe you that blind faith, that term, that phrase is there, that I will not believe without proof, but the conclusion formed after the proof is not faith, because it is not the like that show me that I will trust, there is no guarantee that we will trust even if the showing, because this is the after proof is not faith, it is knowledge, or it is the mental opinion, that is actually a very confusing one, that is confuses. Faith is something which one has before proof or knowledge. Still in the prize, not before or after, preceding or succeeding, nothing like this. Faith is something which one has before the proof or knowledge, and it helps you to arrive at the knowledge. Faith, it helps you to arrive at the knowledge or experience. So there is no proof that God exists, but if I have faith in God, then I can arrive at the experience of the divine. So that faith must be there to arrive at the divine. It is there. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes again, faith does not depend upon the experience, of course. It is something that is there before experience. When one starts the yoga at the beginning, when he starts really, it is not usually on the strength of experience, but on the strength of faith. Initially, that does not come, that experience does not come, but with the strength of faith, he exceeds. It is not only in yoga and the spiritual life, but in ordinary life also the same thing happens, because initially with faith we start. We don't know the success or failure, whether I will complete it or that does not matter. But that faith is there. With the faith, it is gone. All men of action, discoverers, inventors, creators of knowledge, proceed by faith, and until the proof is made and the thing is done, they go on in spite of all disappointments. It comes failure, disproof, denial, because of something in them that tells them that this is the truth. The thing, this is the truth, and with that truth, with that belief, you have to go until it is reached. With the faith only we go, and afterwards that experience comes really. The thing that must be followed and done. So it is the blind faith was not wrong. Sometimes Ramakrishna adds the blind faith was not wrong, and that but that blind faith was only kind to have. For faith is either blind or it is not faith but something else. Reasoned interference, proved conviction, or ascertained knowledge. Again, we'll go for sometimes we use the term resolution. Sure, the quotes, keep it firm inside you, even if the waves of other consciousness cover on the surface. On the surface, many think that many coverings are there, but thing is that a true resolution, firm resolution must be there. If one plants a faith or resolution like that, faith or resolution, if one someone keeps in between in oneself, then it remains, and even if the mind for a time gets clouded or the resolution dimmed, even also it one finds the re-emerging automatically like a ship out of the covering wave. The sometimes the big waves cover the sea, we can't see it, but thing is that once this sea is coming out from the covering wave that is visible, it can be seen like this, that felt, so that resolution must be there, and goes invincibly on the journey through all the vicissitudes till it reaches the harbor. So once this big clouds, it is actually covering for the some time, and once this big wave is vanishing, then naturally there is existence of sea, that is very clearly visible. Again, we'll go for that faith. What is faith? Some definitions we'll get very interestingly, some good definition. Faith, a dynamic entire belief and acceptance. That is faith. Belief. Already that you used that term belief. Intellectual acceptance only, that is beliefs. These are so me, and I will trust and believe so, and intellectual acceptance only. Conviction, sometimes that intellectual belief held on what seems to be good reasons associated with reason. Reliance, we rely on the divine, that reliance, divine reliance. Dependence on the another for something based on the trust. Again, what is that trust? Trust is a feeling of sure expectation of another's help and reliance on the word character, that is trust. Again, the confidence, finally, the confidence it comes, the sense of security, and that goes with trust. So, how can we define again the beautiful terms we have defined: faith, belief, conviction, of course, reliance, trust, confidence. Again, we'll see faith is a feeling. So, in the course, faith is a feeling in the whole being. Belief is a mental. Confidence means a trust in the person or in the divine, or feeling of the security about the result of one's seeking or adventure. So this is the different meaning and the different phases of faith, like faith, confidence, and faith and the belief and the confidence. Again, we'll get some mental faith. There is a very good this thing we have already seen. Mental faith that combats doubts and helps to open to the true knowledge. That is a mental faith. Vital faith, again, that prevents the attack of the hostile forces or defeats them and helps to open to the true spiritual will and action. That is vital faith. After mental, physical, then comes the physical faith. Keeps one physical faith keeps one firm with through all physical obscurity, inertia, and or suffering, or helps to open to the foundation of the true consciousness. Then again, another faith that is coming as the psychic faith opens to the direct touch of the divine and helps to bring the union and the surrender. Again, we'll go in brief. Of course, time is knocking at the door. Mental faith is very helpful, but it is a thing that can always temporarily second or quite clouded until the higher consciousness and experience get fixed into the forces. Again, we'll go for the another very interesting definition. No surrender to the psychic being is demanded. The surrender is to the divine, that is most essential. The approaches that the one approaches the divine through faith. Faith is essential. One approaches to it. Concentrated experience comes the result of sadhana. So one cannot demand a great experience without doing anything to prepare the consciousness for it. So thank you.